Yo. This is Double D's Let's Talk Ball podcast. We are your hosts, Damian Deshawn and D of D's Corner. What's going on, bro?
What's up, bro? What's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Just vibing, bro. Chilling out, just clearing my head on some things and thinking about some things with football, sports, family. You know how that work, bro. Um,
hmm
what about yourself, man?
Man, happy we ain't got practice today. but that's pretty much it, really, man. Ready to talk
Yeah,
this ball.
yeah, man.
It was some surprising games took place.
Yeah, some surprising games and actually expected results and
Yeah,
yeah, and some expected results. Man, we can dive into it. I'll be honest, I didn't see every game, but
hmm
I found out some of the scores, watched some of the highlights, watched enough of what I don't have the red zone, but I get what I get with the
right.
information. And man, it was really intriguing. We're gonna get into it, man. What's first game? You throw a game out there before we get into tonight's game and then week 2. Throw a game from last week that kind of surprised you.
It was a ton of them. The Bills and the Cardinals game. It being that close
Yeah,
surprised me. The
yeah,
Cowboys, and the Browns.
yeah,
How bad the Browns look offensively. Just, I mean, I wasn't expecting them to be great or anything like that. I expect their offense to be able to do something.
yeah.
Uh, how far along the Cowboys defensive unit look? Is that because the Browns offensive line had so many injuries, or are they going to be like that?
Exactly,
You know what I'm saying? Because we
exactly.
knew the ball had to come out quick, so it's
Yeah,
easier to jump routes, easy to look um, dominant like that when you're
yeah,
going against the Browns. That was it more the Cowboys, how good the Cowboys are, or just how bad the Browns are and look with Deshaun Watson. Like it looked like a team that didn't want to play.
yeah. Um, and what I saw, it was kind of interesting because my reason for picking against the Cowboys was just the unknown factor of that offensive line and then having two rookies on it starting, the
Mm-hmm.
inexperience. And then I looked at who the Browns defensive line had, and I just saw it as a point of the trenches is going to win this game.
Right.
And it was the exact opposite. It
The cut.
factored in, but it was the opposite expectation. It was actually the Browns offensive line that mostly
Just yep, yep,
underperformed. Yeah.
yeah. You could
So
just, bro. You could just pull the picks up if you want. We could just go game by game.
yeah, we could do that, man.
Because I think you. I actually got my. I think I messed up on one of them
Hmm.
because the Giants lost, and I think I put there. So I think we both might be short a game. But you
Yeah.
still won. I think you're 9-7. I might have been 8-8.
Okay. So I won't show
But
that last slide that didn't have it corrected, but
all right,
okay. But we'll just start. We already talked Ravens Chiefs. Let's go into the unexpected one here. Falcons and Steelers. I
yes, one.
before we go back into that Browns Cowboys game, but the Steelers, we'll start here. Man, I didn't think Cousins was gonna play like that. He didn't play too well. Uh, I
It
know
to
coming
me,
off
it
the
was. Oh, go ahead, bro. My bad. I
no,
didn't mean
I
to
was
step
saying
on
I
you.
know come no, you good, but I know coming off that injury, bro. I know you can expect there to be some issues, but I didn't think he was gonna play bad enough to where Justin Fields, who didn't really play all that great, plays himself.
They
He's
didn't
gonna run
score
the
a touchdown,
yes, exactly.
so
It's crazy. But what's your
the
take on it, man?
it looked to me like either Kirk's not sure of himself
Mm-hmm.
or they're not sure of Kirk's Achilles because
Gotcha.
he's one of the better play action quarterbacks.
Uh-huh.
You don't really have a good play action running everything from shotgun. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's not comfortable pivoting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know, but that's kind of what it gave to me. Shocked to see how well the Steelers defense have played
Hmm.
I'm not necessarily shocked, but shocked to see how they were able to literally make play after play after play after play. Is that going to be able to, with especially
Continue.
how tough it gets late? How
Yeah,
long are they to keep it up that way? Like you're gonna have to score some form of offensive touch. Uh,
yeah,
Justin Fields, I guess he managed the game well
yeah,
enough. Um, he didn't turn the ball over or anything, but he made the plays, I guess, that need to be made. But you're gonna have to be able to make more plays downfield, especially. So
yeah. You're right. I'm trying to pull up the stats here for the game. Just give me 1 second. Well, I can't seem to find there. There you go. Nope, that's last year. Hold up, my fault. But anyways, just going into it, man. Just looking at it before we move on to the next game. Yeah, man. I was just interested to see Fields did was able to manage the game very well, man. They got what
mm-hmm.
they got out of the running game. Kind of mixed things up a little bit, but I didn't see that the Falcons didn't really. It didn't seem from the box score that they really used Bijan all that much the way they should have.
They couldn't really get the run going.
Yeah, so it
They
kind of
couldn't really
took
get the
him out of
run
the game.
going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we can move on, man. And this one here, I know I saw one particular play from Caleb Williams that this ain't his introduction into the NFL. Basically, like this ain't college no more. All that dancing
Right.
shit ain't
Mm-mm.
working. So you basically had a rookie making rookie mistakes going up against a guy that just looks like mud. I mean, man,
Look,
you give me your insight, bro, because it's
ev-
crazy.
on D's corner, everybody, all the Titans fans, like they always talk trash to me
Uh-huh.
about, with me being a Colts fan or whatever, or saying like with how good their roster is, they're not, they're gonna have a better man. They had a 17 point, they blew a 17-point lead because you have a quarterback that literally will make the oh no, he makes those plays
Yeah.
regularly. You know what I'm saying? Like even if like I wish I would have thought about it, but there's a highlight when he threw that interception. Like he's on his knees like this. Like bro, like as they're scoring on the pick six, he's the but he just
That's
makes
crazy.
boneheaded plays. Now the flip side of it,
Uh-huh.
Caleb, on the on the Bear side,
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, like you said, he definitely got a welcome to the NFL moment. All
Mm-hmm.
those plays he was trying to make where he tries to spin around and all that. This is
Mm-hmm.
why I said I don't feel like they did him any justice by not having a veteran quarterback in the
To help.
room with him.
Yeah, I get you.
And
To help
that
get help.
I know they like to compare him and Mahomes,
Uh-huh.
and now they'll start doing that with the Raiola kid in Nebraska.
Nebraska. Mm-hmm.
But Mahomes sat, so he was able to when he got on the field, he understood certain things of it.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb's trying to learn everything on the fly, the
Yeah.
patience of it, the speed of it, because you still have to be patient within the speed of
Uh-huh.
the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything he did looked like a rookie. Everything looked rushed. They're going to
Yeah.
jump the hop. They're going to jump the quick routes. They're going to take the first read away from you.
Yeah.
He's going to have some growing pains, but they have a solid defense. Again, this is that same question: is the Bears defense like that, or is Tennessee's quarterback just
That
mud, like you
bad.
said?
Mhm.
Yeah, is he just
Straight
that bad?
mud
That
is
bad? Yeah,
mud.
is he just that bad?
Yeah, man. I see that they were able to run the ball though. Tennessee was able to run the ball pretty
Yeah,
decent
Pollard had
here.
a decent day,
Yeah, yeah. He had a decent day, 82 yards and averaging 5.1 yards a carry. That's well above
which
the average.
leads you to think if I had a 17-point lead, my back is averaging 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Why am I not running the ball down their throat?
Exactly. They didn't lead.
So
So I mean, in this, you can tell at some point in the game, just by the box score and the averages, bro, that the coaching staff didn't help their quarterback out.
right,
They didn't contribute to. So they're just as much at fault for the mistakes because they didn't help him out by continuing to run the football. when they had a
Mhm.
lead. It's crazy. I mean, you even had Tajay Spears at 21 yards on 4 carries with the 5.2 average. Will Levis was factoring into the run game with 36 yards. So I don't understand why they didn't continue a dynamic of smashing the ball and trying to control the tempo and the clock.
Right.
And you could have took some pressure off of him. That's crazy. I'm just I don't know, man. I know we're recording, and I'm just really looking at these numbers
Yeah.
and thinking about the in-depth part of why they do that. Like you
Why?
said, yeah, why did they do that? Why did they stop running? But man,
Right.
with Caleb, man, I found it interesting to watch his development though, because you had said something in the offseason about the coaching staff, and this may not be the coaching staff that he's going to finish with.
Right.
They're already on the hot seat with him as at they got to make it work and show some
Right.
real improvement. So, it's gonna be interesting to watch that because it can pretty much his development in this rookie year he has that coach's future in his hands.
In his hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
No Diddy.
no, you're right. No Diddy, none, bro.
Bro,
Man, y'all know the viewers tripping out because I know they like, man, what's up with these two?
Diddy has ruined every male conversation, bro.
Well, speaking of no Diddy, we'll just say that with what the Saints did to the Panthers on on Sunday, bro. Man,
Man.
we don't really have to go in depth with this game because coming into the season, everyone pretty much know from the administration down to the team that the Panthers is probably the worst football team in the NFL. And it all
Them are the
starts
Giants.
them are the Giants. But I think the Giants are still better, man. Cause I'm looking at the Panthers and I'm like, this is a mess that the organization put them in. And
Yes.
basically you're saying that one pick, one bad decision derailed your franchise for the next 4 to 5 years, possibly, unless you come up off of what we all know is done.
What
And
I don't
already
know.
he's done.
I'm not gonna
He's not an
I'm
NFL
not gonna
quarterback.
I'm not gonna necessarily say that because I still don't believe it's the right coaching staff. I
Hmm.
believe if Bryce would have been able to go to, because at the end of the day, if you still watch him play, he's still making throws and stuff.
Hmm.
He has trash around him. He's not a quarterback that you can put on any team and he can lead them somewhere. He has to be able.
Okay.
This is if he was in a Shanahan style system
Yeah.
where he can just
Oh,
be
I
the
got you.
point guard.
I got
I
you.
don't think he's an X factor, but he's a hell of a manager.
I
He's
got
not
you.
in a position. He's not in a position to be able to do that.
Okay.
This coaching staff, if you look at his when he was offensive coordinator, we talked about how he developed
Hmm.
Gino and how he developed Baker. But if you look at the passing
Hmm.
statistics, they're not all that well. You don't really have a rushing attack. You did
Yeah.
beef up the offensive line, but we've already talked about this. They have already dismantled the defense to try to build
Yeah.
something up around Bryce.
Yeah.
Just the trade to get Bryce in general
Yeah.
screwed them.
Yeah.
Screwed
On
them.
on
Just
their
that trade in
quality.
general.
Yep. You
But
you
I
missed out on
definitely
some
believe
picks that would have
if
helped the
they
team. Go ahead.
if you go back and redraft that draft and Bryce falls to one of them teams where he could be a backup to Stafford
Yeah.
with
Yeah, that's
with, with
another team.
McVay,
Yeah.
with McVay, look how well Sam Darnold did in Minnesota. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that game.
Yeah.
He's got a he was talented enough to be a first round quarterback. They're not all made the same.
Yeah.
They're not all made the same. They're not every quarterback's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. Bryce is not going to take a team to the Super Bowl leading the NFL
Mm.
in drops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I believe he can. He just has to have. We used to say the same stuff about Tua. Tua, look what Tua started to do, and
Hmm.
they say Tua doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not this. Bryce is pinpoint accurate. Bryce can make NFL throws.
Yeah.
Bryce
I
is undersized. You gotta get the ball out of Bryce's hands. If Bryce was in Miami, I think Bryce would do well.
Okay. I see
You know
what
what I'm
system,
saying?
the system that you're correlating to, or your the parallels. You just the McVay, Shanahan, what's the name from Miami comes off that same tree. So I get
McDaniels,
what you're saying. Yeah, McDaniels. So I get what you're saying. Bryce is an elite level distributor, game managing
distributor.
distributor,
Yeah.
distribute to playmakers. But so those kind of quarterbacks are hindered when they don't have enough playmakers. So I get
And
what you're
who's his
saying.
playmakers?
You're depending on a rookie right now. You
And
know?
then and not only that, the situation. His first
Yeah,
year, they were what? How many games? 4 or 5 games into the season, you fired your head coach.
yeah,
So now, well, I don't know. Maybe he started having to learn different plays mid-season. Now you're on to a new coach, new offensive scheme.
yeah. Got to
That
learn
doesn't
from.
bode well for any. That doesn't bode well for any young quarterback.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
and
I wouldn't say he's Daniel Jones, where he's. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I
Bryce
got
did
you.
it at the Bryce did it at the SEC. He's always been small.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand. I mean, watching him play, you know, he does get rid of the football and put it in the places it needs to go. Um, with what they have, like you said, around them, man. Um, I was trying to think about how much they just lost in that trade, man. In that situation, and then also the other side of that coin, bro, is they had an opportunity. They had Stroud.
To get
So
Stroud. Now
to
that's
get
where they
Stroud,
messed up at.
that's where they messed up at because I do think that Stroud's much more of a possible changer than he is a manager. You know,
Mm-hmm.
with the throws, he can make throws just like Bryce,
But he's bigger. Yeah, he's
but it's
bigger.
bigger.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
what that's
so
where
yeah,
measurables should have mattered.
matter. Yeah,
Yeah,
measurable should have mattered there because he's capable. He's as capable as Bryce is. Um, and but the thing about it is he has playmakers. He came into a better situation of playmakers than Bryce did already on the
and he's
roster,
in that system.
and he's in that system.
Slowick's from San Francisco. Him and D'Amico.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's the same system. Um,
But that's the easier system for a younger quarterback who is used to distributing. What did Bryce have? What did both Bryce and CJ have at Alabama and Ohio State?
receivers, weapons all over the
Garrett
place.
Wilson, Chris Olave,
Uh
Marvin
huh.
Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing one. I know I'm missing one.
Was Njigba on that
But
team?
Jack Smith and Jigba, that's the one I'm missing.
Yeah,
Jer-
Jigba.
Jerry Judy, Jalen Waddle,
Uh huh. Henry
uh,
Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs, Devontae
Uh,
Smith.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They had playmakers around them. Go to the NFL. CJ has playmakers around him, has even more now.
Yeah.
Bright still has question marks. So
Question marks. We
so
also spoke to
they'll be
this
looking,
being
they'll
kind of
probably be firing this coach.
yeah,
The owner's already talked to the coach.
man. It's crazy, bro. That owner is probably one of the worst owners in the league. If you
Yeah.
really talking
And just
about
got there.
the investment for his team, all of that kind of stuff, yeah. And he's not investing in his team. It's just it seems like it's just the power and the party with him. You know, of owning a team. I own. You know, as he's a weird kind of guy for as an owner.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll move on to the next game. This is one that I called. I said that I like Tampa. I like the situation with Tampa versus Washington. I like that Baker has seemed to fit into a system. They got a operation going in the rhythm. He has good bond with Mike Evans and other weapons around him. The defense showed up and played, but I was also very, very
Mm-hmm.
impressed with Jaden Daniels. I mean, pretty much what he did in college, but on a pro level, he was able to
Mm-hmm.
still have his pains throwing the football, but he got it there, and then his legs were a huge factor.
Yes.
So we've been introduced to another probably elite level dual threat opposite your Lamar Jackson types. And, when we had
Mm-hmm.
our RG3s all the way back to Vic and Cunningham, we may have our next guy already. And of course, Cam Newton, you had him in there.
Yeah.
But those dual threat types. But man, it's going to be another quarterback, Caleb and Jaden. When we go back and revisit this draft, we're going to find out. if the order was correct, you know.
Right.
And right now it looks like Jaden is, Jaden is there.
Hmm.
He's showing some promise. I mean, uh but let's get in depth with the game. What are some things that you took from the game as a whole?
Well, first off, you gotta hate it if you're Tampa Bay. You lost 3/4 of your starting secondary.
Yeah,
They all went down. Um, I like the same stuff you spoke about with Jaden. Want to see him throw the ball a little bit more.
yeah,
One of the reasons I picked him was because I wanted to see just how good this Tampa Bay defense is
yeah.
or was. I just wasn't necessarily sold on them. Wasn't sold on which Baker we would get. Just being honest.
Got you.
But I was surprised to see Baker seems like he's locked in. Baker seems like he's comfortable. Baker seems like
Hmm.
he's ready to mature and be a quarterback. Which we're going to talk about the other Oklahoma quarterback. I know we're not going to show the picks or whatever because I screwed up that one.
That's
But
okay.
when we talk about the Cardinals and the Bills and how
Yeah,
one quarterback is showing maturity and one is showing that he's still kind of immature.
yeah. But going one more thing with the Washington game that I mentioned with Jaden is I saw something too looking at his numbers now. He was efficient as fuck, man.
Yep.
He was efficient. It's still some things to develop, but 70%. I mean, going up against a quality defense, we don't know how good. I
A
would say
quality team.
at the least a quality defense, and they're not terrible.
This is a
Um,
playoff team.
Yes, a playoff team. I mean, your
So
first game, he showed out. He had a QBR of 100.8, and
mhm.
he has some weapons to help him in the back. That's the one thing. What we just mentioned, we go right back to the C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. He's
Yep.
in a situation just like you said. There are pieces around him, playmakers. You got what is it, McLaurin? You got Crowder, Eckler, Brian Robinson.
Hmm.
I mean,
Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz. Yeah, man, he has some weapons there, and then they have you're right, they have enough of a defense to give him, to give them the ball back. But he has more than enough weapons on offense to be a very, very sneaky, explosive offense.
Hmm.
Man, because you add his running dynamic into what
Yep.
you
With
get
what?
out of
Yep.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Got to play
His
11-on-11
Yeah,
football.
you got to play 11 on 11, and they got a little bit of everything because you could get power from Brian Robinson. You got your Eckler as your receiving back, so you're really stressing linebackers on the defense. I'm just looking at it from this. I don't know why I'm looking at it this way, but man, it's just real cool. Interesting to see Terry McLaurin, John Bates also had, well, not John Bates, but Terry McLaurin, having Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz. So you
Yeah.
pretty much stressing if you could put Eckler and Ertz on the field together and how much pressure you put on the safeties and linebackers.
That's where
Man,
he'll have to eat them up at after
yeah,
trading Dotson away.
yeah.
But they're in a good spot though.
All
He'll be
right.
all right.
Okay. Well, we go into the next game, bro. It is the Texans versus your Colts, brother. Uh, I would say
29-27.
yeah. You know what? You picked your team and you rightfully damn well almost came up with that, with that win. Uh you were right about a lot of things you said about your team and how they would perform. You didn't get an efficient game, but you got something out of Ant. And you got some throws. He made some throws that were very impressive.
Did you see
Very
that?
impressive.
Did you see that one when he slipped and threw it 70 yards or 60 yards with
Yeah.
somebody in his face?
Yeah.
That's the thing with him. He gonna be able to make some explosive plays like that. Right now, he's
Yeah.
gonna be hit or miss. He hasn't had a
Yeah.
lot of experience, so I
Yeah.
mean that's gonna happen. The thing that not to cut you off and
No,
dive
you
right
good.
into
You
it,
good, bro. Dive in.
but
No diddy.
the thing no about to say man, no diddy. But the thing that shocked me about it was how sorry our defensive line was against the run. Joe
Yeah.
Mixon carved them up like Swiss cheese. We lost Juju Brents, did something to his knee, so he's out for the season.
Hmm.
Our safeties had a combined 27 tackles. That's not a good day. That's
Nah,
not a good day. Just the
not a
good
good day.
safeties is. it got almost 30 tackles. That means your offense was living
Yeah,
in our second level. So
yeah,
that's just crazy.
yeah. I'm seeing
Um,
Nick Cross here. Yeah, he had
yeah.
him a day.
But the thing about it is, for us not to have around Anthony what CJ has around him,
Yeah,
offensively and defensively, to
yeah,
have only lost by two and be in a fight, and that's a divisional game.
yeah,
Our future looks bright. We're just going to continue to build around Anthony. The only thing is that GM and that DC, they might be up out of there if they keep this up.
yeah. You're right. You're right, man. But it does. It shows you. I speak to this because you touched on everything. I speak to just this game, the previous game we mentioned, and looking at the evolution of the quarterback position and how you're getting some of the same traits, athletically, just coming in different, different types. Ants built more like Cam Newton, and then you got
Cam,
yeah, but then you got the dynamics at Stroud. It's interesting to see the next generation. You see the next group of guys already coming in.
what's
Um,
crazy is 15 of them are black.
yeah, I was getting ready to go
If
there
you
too,
look,
brother.
if you look at this, if you look at the picture right here,
Hmm.
Jacksonville and Miami, the only game that didn't have a black quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of these games had two. The Ravens, the Chiefs, the Texans, the Colts, the Eagles, the Packers.
Yeah,
So we went from Lovey Smith and Tony Dungy being the first black quarterback. I mean, both first black head coaches to both coach the Super Bowl. Almost half the NFL is black
and
now
black
at
quarterbacks. Yeah,
quarterback. So
at that position.
that shows you where the game is going.
Yeah,
And then the white boys that are there are athletic as hell too. So it's not necessarily just a racial thing.
yeah.
The athletic white boy like Josh Allen is like
Josh Allen.
Cam. He
And
like
yeah,
Cam Newton. So
I mean, even a quarterback like Daniel Jones, if we just talking
Daniel
athleticism,
Jones.
his athleticism is on
Mm-hmm.
above. It's above, well above average. Here's well above
Trevor
average.
Lawrence, Will Levis, Derek
Yeah,
Carr.
yeah, they all can move. Uh,
Yeah, so
well, even Minshew can. He's much more of an improviser and scrambler on break that broken plays. But
Bo
he has enough.
Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix is an elite level athlete. I think he's elite as far as athlete at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. We'll move on to Jacksonville and Miami, man. I know a few Jacksonville fans, man, that happen to be FSU fans, and they in a bad place right now, bro. Because they looking at everything that they looked at that game
Everything sucked
on
right now, huh?
Sunday. Yeah, on
Yeah.
Sunday. But it's the game on Sunday and how everything went down. This is another one of them games that
Yeah.
was like I believe what we talked about, Tennessee, Chicago. Was that the one with didn't Jacksonville have a lead here
Mm-hmm.
at one point? Yeah.
Blown lead.
But they
Blown
blew the
lead.
lead. Yeah.
ETN. ETN fumbled. That's what it
Fumble.
was.
That's what it
ETN
was. And they
fumbled.
yeah, on the goal line, right?
Yep.
Yep. Uh, we saw that Brian Thomas looks to be even in his young, early first game, he looks to be that guy. He is a
Mm-hmm.
one at right now. I don't think he's a two disguised as a one. I think he's a one
Yeah.
and a good pick. Um, we still though with Trevor, man.
Still up in the air
He
on
had a yeah he had a solid day, but for the expectations of where he was drafted and what he was thought to be,
and what's around him.
and what he this ain't it. This ain't it, man. He had more than enough weapons to
Yeah.
and the expectation was that he would be a game changer. See, I think that's probably the thing. This roster is probably better set for a game changer because
Yeah.
than a game manager. You know,
Needing more explosive plays.
yeah, any more explosive plays at him is just not enough. And I think
Yeah.
that's what's going to hold Jacksonville back. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, down the road, you see one, maybe 2 years from now, they come up off of it. I
Mm.
don't see
Well,
it,
they
bro.
just re-signed him. They
Oh,
just
they gonna come
re-signed
up.
him.
Yeah, I know they did, but they got to eat it for a few years. That's what I'm
They're gonna
saying.
have to
Two
do something.
years. Yeah, they got to eat it for at least 2 years. So I said 2 to 3.
He he'll end up getting Penderson or Peterson fired. Doug Peterson.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
He'll end up getting him
Um,
fired.
yeah. Now we touched on, and I did see. Did we the Philly? Yeah, the Philly Green Bay game. I took Philly, and
Hmm.
I was surprised though. No, 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 no. I correct myself. You had to fix that one because I took Green Bay also. Remember, we both
No,
took
you took
Green Bay.
no, you took Philly.
I
You
did.
text
I
me.
don't remember. Okay, I thought I put
Then you
Green
text
Bay.
me.
Okay.
You took Philly because when we did it, you said, I said, how your Cowboy fans are gonna feel. And you was like, it is what it is.
Oh
We
yeah,
thought it
you're
was gonna
right,
be a
bro.
close game. We both thought it was gonna be a close game. We
Yeah,
both thought it was gonna be a close game, which it was. It started off a Jaden Reed, Saquon Barkley game.
I can. I thought I man, my bad to our viewers. I thought I had picked Green Bay with you. I didn't want to be said not to be correct there, but watching that
I,
game, I actually did watch some of that game on Saturday night. Well, not Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. No, Friday night, right? It was a Friday night game. Watching that game, it was the defense was surprising, that
suspect.
the defenses were both a little suspect on both sides, to be honest. Um,
Yeah.
Let me go to the game real quick because I wanted to see that. Go back to it and revisit. I liked a lot of things that the Eagles did though. Um, they really controlled the line of scrimmage, and you got a lot of things happening with Saquon on offense. He's able to
Yes.
move the ball. Jalen was definitely more efficient than he is, but it's still some throws, and still some things that he didn't do
I
right.
think
Similar to he
he
had
had two or
completed.
three turnovers, I want to believe.
Yeah, he had two. He had two turnovers, but he completed 58% of his passes. That's what I'm saying. With the mistakes he typically makes come into play there.
Yeah.
Go
What
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
what I noticed about the Eagles is there's literally so much
Yeah,
around him
he don't
that
know what to do.
they're no. They're damn near good enough to where they can play. Their play can mask his mistakes. So like if they have a turnover because they're so explosive, safe and AJ Brown is physical and explosive. Devontae is efficient, explosive.
Hmm.
Saquon is explosive. When you have Saquon had 3 touchdowns, I think he had 20 carries, 100 something yards. He had a receiving
Yeah,
touchdown. Like they utilized him. They utilized him, and in utilizing him, AJ Brown got off.
yeah,
Devontae's able to get off. They still got Dallas Goddard and Jahan Dotson.
yeah.
Like I think some of the that early throw down the middle that he threw the pick, I feel like he was trying to force that instead of just kind of taking what it is, taking what you can get.
Hmm.
Because literally the safety was right there. He threw it to McKinney, and it
Hmm.
was a pick. So, but I mean, I think there's so much around them. But I was loving what I was seeing from the Packers before Jordan Love got hurt.
Yeah.
And he got hurt towards the end of the game too. That's what sucks for them.
Do you think that was a good hit? A lot of people kind of call it
They
dirty.
look talking about on Jalen Carter.
Yeah,
I, I don't think it was dirty. Like he wasn't even facing me. He wasn't even facing. He just rolling to get up. So I mean, like
yeah,
I don't think it was. I think that one there is just probably just part of the game.
yeah. I can see where. Yeah, watching that game, I see that Jacobs he got off pretty good. That night.
Mm.
Jordan Love was
He was
cooking
running
before he
hard
got
too.
hurt. Yeah, he was running hard. I like the things. I'm trying to remember. Romeo Dobbs made some plays for him, man. I'm just trying to remember
Jaden
everything
Reed
from
went
the
off.
game. Yeah, Reed went off.
Jaden Reed, I
Uh,
think he had 3 touchdowns.
yeah, he had 138 yards, man,
Yeah,
on just
he went
four
off.
catches. On just four
Yeah,
catches, man. Where I'm going? I'm trying to think about. I'm trying to actually. I'm just trying to remember the game because it was on last Friday, actually. So I'm trying to remember
yeah.
things from that game. Um, because I wasn't even at home, bro. I was watching that game from the bar.
The Eagles defense had a bunch of blown calls. There was a bunch people complaining about the field, but there was a
Yeah,
bunch of missed tackles. They look defensively. They look like they were the team that didn't play in the preseason. The Packers, I mean, the Eagles just happened to make one more play than the Packers did, honestly. And then when Jordan Love got hit late, I mean, well, not hit late, but he got hit later in the game. Like as
yeah,
I think I can't even remember last quarter, or
yeah,
it wasn't that much long because then Malik Willis was there. So now moving forward, that sucks for them
yeah,
because you were seeing they have a good young group of receivers, and for Jaden Reed to be going off, and you still have Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson, and I think Watson
yeah,
scored too.
yeah.
So I
He
mean,
did.
yeah. So I mean, it was a tough game, like a really really good game to watch. Thursday and Friday's games were really good to watch.
Yeah, they were good.
So I know you ain't showing the slide, so we'll jump into the next set of games. The Giants and the Vikings. We both went with the Giants, and
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold looked like a machine in that doggone offense with that
Mm-hmm.
uh with that offensive line
Mm-hmm.
around him. Aaron Jones looked good. Justin Jefferson went off. There was a point in time where Sam Darnold was 10 for 10, and against what we thought was a good Giants defense is extremely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you. I was trying to remember. You had said to not put it up there or not, or
Oh no, I didn't care. I was just telling you that the
okay.
Giants one was the one that was wrong
Oh, it's okay. It's
because
no
the
big
Vikings
deal.
won. The Vikings
Cause
won that game.
so we acknowledged it, so it's all right.
Yeah.
I just went on and put it up there, bro. I was trying to
Now
find the certain score. Go ahead. Go ahead.
one of the shocking games on here. I was just going to jump into the next game unless you want to touch on the
No, no,
Vikings and
no,
the Giants.
no. It was
Daniel
the
Jones is terrible. Drew Lock should be
yes,
starting.
yeah, that's true.
uh,
But you going to go into the next game.
yeah,
Oh yeah, please
yes.
go into this one.
This game here looked crazy. The Bengals and the Patriots. The Bengals offensively couldn't get nothing going. I'm
Nope.
not sure what was going on. I think Jamar Chase had one catch. I think they didn't have
Yeah,
absolutely anything going. T. Higgins didn't play. T. Higgins isn't going to play again this week. Their defense couldn't stop anything. And this is a Patriots team who is anemic at best offensively. Like they are weak on offense.
yeah. Somebody said this on the on social media on Twitter on X timeline. Uh, I'm gonna put it this way, just two words: pocket watching.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's what's
Oh
going
yeah.
on right now. Too busy, everybody
Mm-hmm.
too busy watching, on that team, too busy watching each other and other teams and other players, what they making. They ain't worried about making plays on the field. And that's what's going on here. You got too much contract. They got too many contract issues going on.
Yep.
And players are not performing under their current contract right now because they're so worried about the next one. So they got basically, I look at this game as they got caught slipping and in one of those any given Sunday type of games. Roster wise, there's no reason that they should have lost to
At
the
all.
Patriots at all.
At
They should
all.
have they should have basically this should have been actually a Cowboys Browns type of score,
Browns. Yeah.
or Panthers,
Mm-hmm.
versus the Panthers kind of score, Panthers Saints kind of score because you just look at the talent. But they underperforming, and it's something to watch for, man. Because until Chase's deal, which you seen, said something about they offered him what he would equal $35 million a year, and he turned that
Oh,
down.
I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, I saw something on the timeline talking about that. It's something to watch if true, it's something to watch for. But I also get it though because if you break down taxes and stuff, I can see why he possibly
Yeah.
turned that down. Uh, but just get it back onto the field. Yeah, man, they really underwhelmed. Still some that offensive line still a work in progress. Um, I didn't like some of the things I saw from them.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah,
And now the big story is Joe Burrow's wrist. You know, he had surgery on his wrist last week, or
yep,
not last week, last year. And
last
now
year.
they're talking about he couldn't hold the Gatorade bottle, and he
Uh
kept,
huh.
trying to move his wrist around. So
Oh,
seeing how that works, seeing how that goes. So I mean, they've already paid him too. So if that happens to be a issue moving forward where he can't play, like you already paid him.
Yeah. All right.
So
Well,
I would like to see how this goes because this is a team that usually doesn't pay their players. So we'll see
yeah,
how this goes.
you're right. You're right. They have a long history of
Mm-hmm.
wasting talent. Yeah. Let's move on to the next game, the Chargers and the Raiders, man. You won this one here, brother. Uh, I did see just a slight bit on the highlights, and the only thing I did see that I liked with the Raiders was Minshew's gonna be Minshew. That's the first thing. He's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
efficient, but he always gonna give you, he gonna get a other team one.
Right.
Um, there just wasn't enough offensively for the Raiders to score. It was just like played. They had the Chargers had a few more plays made. It's one of those games where it could have very easily went the other way. It was just
Right.
like the Chargers just had a couple more. They made the right
The
plays at the right time.
the the Raiders couldn't stop the run at all.
Yeah, at
J.K.
all.
Dobbins went off.
Yeah,
J.K. Dobbins went off. I was expecting more of a physical game defensively from the Raiders. We knew
yeah,
Harbaugh was going to run the ball,
yeah,
but gotta say happy for J.K. Dobbins. He got hurt a couple years in Baltimore, especially
yeah,
going into his contract year. Happy to see him have success.
yeah.
Happy to see him.
He went off too. He averaged
Yeah,
13.5 per carry on 10 carries.
yeah.
He got 135 in the league off of that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
with he Herbert didn't even. He had an efficient game, but you would expect it, his numbers are a reflection of the what he has at wide receiver. It's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And then not having Eckler anymore as far as his pass catcher.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that real big safety blanket. You got a rookie in McConkey, and then you still trying to figure out what Quentin Johnson is. I
Mm-hmm.
could see that's a direct reflection of his numbers. But going over to Minshew, like I said, Minshew typically does what he does. I'm looking at something to keep an eye on too, bro. Zamir White, when watching the little bit segments of the game that I saw, it's with the whole losing Josh Jacobs. That was why I felt they were comfortable with losing him because they basically had a similar style running back waiting in the
Mm-hmm.
wings that they can build around in the game. I think they could have tried to run the football a little bit more.
More.
Yeah, they didn't do it enough. I don't think they tried to run enough. But we don't have to stay on the game that much.
All
Unless you
right.
want to add anything else, we can move on.
No.
Um, we
To
touched
the
on this
wild
game.
game.
Yeah, to the wild game. We touched on it at the beginning of the show, and then we went on to just do our picks, and we'll just come back and revisit this, but we won't stay on it long. The I'll go right back and say the biggest thing for me when watching the game and then going back and watching certain highlights also was just the surprising both sides of the ball. We know that Watson did not play well at all. He played like shit.
Mm-mm.
But the trenches, Dallas was able to do a couple of things. Even had a old nostalgic hurdle from Zeke, trying to show he still had something left in the tank, man.
Something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But looking inside the numbers of the game, I mean, it was just a typical Dak and CD kind of game, where it was very unexpected, man. I didn't think the Cowboys would hold up on that line consistently enough. But what do you got, man?
The same. Nothing. I guess nothing more than what we talked about before. I was shocked to see how well the defense played for Dallas.
Yeah,
The great play calling on how they neutralized Miles Garrett, um, keeping him from being able to get to the quarterback.
yeah,
I thought that was excellent how they did that. So I mean, the Browns defense tried to make plays. They did fight, but I mean they were on the field far too often.
too
Like the
often.
Browns offense couldn't do nothing
Yeah. All right, then we'll transition to our next game. You beat me on this one. Broncos
because
and
you went with Bo
Seahawks.
Picks. You went with Bo Picks.
Hey man,
That's what they've
I
been
just
calling him.
yeah, Bo Picks. He threw two in there, man. I think it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's just rookie errors, man. He
Yeah,
made some obvious rookie errors. I think he actually gonna be fine as long as he works within that system. But I was surprised because I would, the new staff on Seattle being able to show that they ran the football. Kendall Walker
Hmm.
had 20 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown, and you got an efficient day from Gino again. 171. He did
Yeah,
throw the pick. He did throw the pick, but he did distribute the ball well enough for them to win in the game. It was close. But what's your analysis on this game?
pretty much the same, man. Bo Nix, I think what we saw out of him, and like we talked about Caleb Williams early on, especially in the preseason. Preseason is just vanilla. Everything
Yeah.
is real bland. Now they're pinning their ears back. They're coming. Everything's moving faster because they're ready to go. These games mean something. So
Mhm.
you went up against a hell of a defense, hell of a secondary. They're all young. They're all fast. They can all find the football. So I mean, want to
Yeah.
see how both these teams continue to grow throughout the season because the Broncos defense is terrible too. They're just an overall garbage roster.
Yeah. Overall. Um. Now this one I didn't see, so I didn't see it.
Exciting game.
Yeah, the
Exciting
Rams
game.
and the Lions. Give our viewers an in depth on what they saw, or just tell us some things that caught your eye about that game because I didn't see this game.
So, like we talked about with the trenches,
Hmm.
the Browns lost two of their tackles. The Cowboys had rookies. The Rams lost two or three of their offensive line, and they took the Detroit Lions to overtime.
Yeah.
They lost Puka Nakua as well,
Hmm.
all in this game. Now the Lions kept them alive. They're young in that secondary. A lot of pass interference calls, and that's Tyrion Arnold and Rake Straw getting used to getting out of the college where you're able to touch them downfield and all that.
Hmm.
Um, but it was a really, really, really good game. Detroit is physical, man. They're how they run the ball. David Montgomery,
Hmm.
physical runner. Jameer Gibbs, he's starting to hit the hole better than he is trying to always bounce something or
Hmm.
bounce it outside. The way they run, and
No
then
diddy.
Jameson, yeah, no diddy. Jameson Williamson went off, and I'm on Ron St. Brown. I think he had like two two catches or something.
Hmm.
He didn't have a lot of receptions or a lot of targets. Jameson Williams touched the ball, I think, 5 times. I think he had two or three scores, 100 something yards as well. So I mean, they're overall this both of these teams. Now the Rams do have to get healthy, but
Hmm.
what I saw out of both of them teams, these are two should be two playoff teams. The Rams' young defense
Yeah.
look good. Now they
Yeah.
were getting that you're without Aaron Donald and they traded their starting linebacker Ernest Jones.
Ernest Jones. Yeah.
So you got a rookie rebuild pretty much over there. You got a ton of injuries in your secondary. So I mean, for them to battle a team like the Lions, who I think a lot of people think are a top 3 roster,
Hmm.
it was a hell of a game.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a game.
Yeah, I see my boy Versi got a sack. Fisk had actually performed well also. 5 assisted
Mm-hmm.
tackles from a D tackle position was good. Their defense is young. The Rams were able to run the football. I did see the numbers, but I also did see certain highlights. I didn't watch the entirety of this game either. I just hit some of the highlights. So um I see that they were able to move the ball, and it was very interesting. These are two of the better teams
Mm-hmm.
in the NFC, man. With the Lions being in my opinion, the best team in the NFC. I think they supplant the Niners this
Niners.
year. Yeah, I think the only team that's a threat is really Philly because of what they have on the perimeter. I think it's better than
Mm-hmm.
what the 49ers have right now. But the quarterback situation, I trust the Lions in all three of those.
Yeah.
But just moving on, the Rams is a team to watch. Like you said, if they get healthy, man, they could get hot and they can score on anybody. And then they got a young, energetic defense. It's something to watch out for. And they can run the football.
Right.
But we're gonna move on and we're gonna touch on the Cardinals and the Bills. We both won this one, but it still was a surprise because you didn't expect the Cardinals to put up a fight the way they did, you know?
Right.
uh Murray, much more what you're gonna get. Pretty much the same thing, you dual threat. His numbers by the number, he was 21 of 31 with 67 completion percentage, 162 yards and a touchdown. He looked
Look at
solid, but typical though, bro.
look at Marvin Harrison Jr.'s.
Yeah, I know
stat.
that. I know that. I was getting ready to get into that.
Did you
It,
hear what
they
he
didn't.
said?
No, I didn't hear that, but I know that he didn't. Yeah, no, not much attempts at all.
So they asked Kyler about it, and pretty much Kyler said it's not his job to get. It's not his job to make sure Marvin Harrison gets receptions. It's his job to get the ball to the open player, to the open,
Hmm.
receiver. So but remember, this was one of the things that I said when they drafted Marvin Harrison. How would they
Hmm.
mesh well? How would they mesh? Because Kyler now big headed because there's no veterans around him. It's him. He's the
Yeah,
guy. He's the guy. D Hop's gone. Fitzgerald's been gone. Patrick Peterson been gone. You got Buda Baker on defense, but that's really it.
yeah.
That's really it. Your wide receivers are rookies. This is my show.
And this is the voice that they have to listen to in the locker room at
Yeah.
the most key position of leadership on the team. Yeah,
Because they
it,
battle with
it
the Bills now.
yeah,
They battled with them.
they battled with
Now,
them.
the flip side to this game, Josh Allen literally was Superman the whole game.
Yeah,
Literally jumping over people and everything. I believe he hurt his hand. He hurt his left hand, but that's pretty much it. Was the Josh Allen show, and that's
yeah,
kind of what we anticipate, and that's kind of what we thought. I still don't think either of these teams will become playoff teams.
no. But I think that Josh, it's going to be as he goes. He has to keep them in a
It
lot of
has to.
games. It has to be. They have to utilize what he does have with his running backs, and then trying to develop a new receiver. Find a go-to guy between the
Right.
rookies or whatever they have on the roster. But it pretty much with him. I mean, he had 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. It's as he goes. They're gonna have to follow
Mm-hmm.
his suit, man. All right, man. We're gonna move on and we're gonna
To the
finish
last
this up
one.
with the last one, man. San Francisco and the Jets. And I got this one. I just looked at that game and I just figured exactly what we end up seeing, that your boy your boy ain't necessarily there. And there was some speculation going into the season that he still wasn't there after that knee injury at such the ACL or the tear after
The
at this
Achilles.
point in his career, or this Achilles at this point in his career, and he didn't look good. He didn't look good.
He has some throws. He has some throws and he has some moments. He's still one of the best quarterbacks. I ain't never seen a quarterback like him who can draw somebody off sides. He'll
Yeah,
draw you off sides in a heartbeat, boy, and take full advantage of it. And more than
yeah,
not, he's scoring a touchdown when he do it. But
yeah. He did
uh
have that play where he drew him off and threw that pass.
mm, but
So
what shocked me about this game was how bad the the Jets defense played. That's what shocked me.
yeah,
I'm not shocked at a 40-year-old quarterback coming off injury being rusty. He still was able to make some throw. He still looked better than Zach Wilson.
yeah,
If you were able to win 7 games with Zach Wilson, you should be able to do more with a quarterback who's better than Zach Wilson. Their defense did not look like that. San Francisco looked like they were playing pure bully ball.
yeah. They're moving him around.
And they didn't even have Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, the running back, Jordan Mason, he went off,
Mason,
man.
yeah.
Yes, Jordan Mason, 28 carries, man, 147. He was very physical too. That's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I noticed about his style of running, man. He lowers his shoulder and he looks for contact, bro.
Yep.
And it really pretty much between he and Debo, it allowed that they play with the typical San Francisco physical style of play. there was no finesse in their game that on the ground, man. And you could see it in Debo's attitude too, and how he ran. You know, all the little gadget plays, receptions. Anytime he touched the ball, he and Jordan Mason really tried to dictate the attitude along with the offensive line of what they were going to do to the Jets defense, and they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like Usyk, man. He's one of
Yes.
those guys that you just, he's the last of a dying breed, man,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't see him on the field all the time because, the packages today doesn't require a fullback, but he's versatile enough to play like an H, but they got Kittles. So he doesn't, you don't, but he'll sneak out on those plays like he did on that route. Was it
Yeah.
a wheel? It was
A
like a
wheel
wheel.
route.
Yes. And he just can catch bombs. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this guy can make a lot of money if somebody would utilize him more like a H back instead of, and he'd be the sole guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the
he'd make
highest paid fullback, but I think he's like
yeah,
only one of two or something like that.
yeah, one of two. But I
But
think you mean he's so versatile. He can be a tight end, man. I like his game. But getting back to the game as a whole, man. Yeah, I mean, it was typical San Francisco just out physicaling and later just breaking the will. They find a
mm-hmm.
weakness either on one side or the other. This was one of the situations where their offense dictated the game more so than their
Absolutely.
defense. Their defense made plays, but it was typically their offense physical because it's like watching them is like, okay, if they're not hitting on all cylinders, one side is hitting, it's going to dictate the game. San Francisco's defense, because they won games with their defense dictating the game. This was the opposite, and you just, it just was. It was something to see. It was typical their style of play, though, physical.
Right. That's what I was expecting to see out the Jets.
Yeah,
At
I
least defense,
was.
at least defensively. There were still some things to like. If I guess if you're a Jets fan, offensive
Mhm.
line didn't look atrocious. Aaron didn't necessarily he didn't look like Zach Wilson, so that's a
Yeah,
positive. The upsetting things is the defense, how bad the defense looked. On top of how well you guys made, sorry to say, a no name running back look phenomenal.
yeah,
So they're definitely
it
gonna
was
need
great.
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah,
They're gonna have to sign Hassan Reddick. So
yeah, they're gonna have to. But
so
man, we could go ahead and we can touch on tonight's game.
all
Um,
right.
look ahead here. Um, I I don't know who to go with here. I think that the speed of Miami. You know what? I did pick Miami. I picked Miami because of once again their speed, and I just think what we said. Josh Allen in this game would have to be Superman, and would it be enough? And I don't think it's going to be enough tonight.
I'm going with Buffalo. They do have some injuries, especially on their defense.
Hmm.
But Miami has some injuries at their running back. Mostert's out. A Chain may not play, so it's probably
Hmm.
gonna fall on the rookie. I'm just going off strictly off of what Josh Allen's able to do against Miami, what Tua is able to do against Buffalo. Tua doesn't
I
usually
got
play good against Buffalo. Josh
you.
Allen usually plays good against Buffalo. I don't know that how Buffalo played against Jacksonville. They were able to fight it coming down to a fumble. You're
Hmm.
not going to be able to do that with Josh Allen. So I'm wanting to see Miami's defense completely bottle him up,
Hmm.
but I'm not anticipating or expecting it. So that's why I'm going with the Bills.
Okay. All right. So that's our picks. Um, you got anything else you want to add, bro?
No, man. Y'all make sure y'all continue to check us out.
Yeah, make sure y'all check us out. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Um, we we appreciate everything, man. Also, look out for Double D's Let's Talk College. We will be dropping an episode probably sometime maybe tomorrow, bro.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
squeeze one in tomorrow. Um, we'll touch on the four big games or the five big games actually that we narrowed down as some interesting ones to watch. But just make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. We thank you and peace out.
Oh my god, what is this?